All right, we're here for our final feature match for week one here, Murders of Karlov Manor, Arena Gauntlet League. We have James M, or Soul Ring. He's a relative newcomer here, just his third league, but had a very good showing in Cons League. Unfortunately, taking a mulligan here with a one-lander up against Jeremy, one of our veteran players here, playing in. I think he's playing basically every league. So what's going on in his hand here?
You're gonna have to bear with me. The quality's kind of looks like he's playing off of Windows 95. But we have Swamp, two Mountains, two Forests, a Tunnel Tipster, and a Vengeful Creeper. It's a decent hand. But what's James working
I
with from
mean,
his side?
Jeremy was already a senior citizen when Windows 95 came out. So, no. James has a mono red hand here, though he is playing at least white as a second color. But he has three mountains. He drew a white card now, but he has reckless detective, red herring, and a person of interest. Looks like we got a Boros aggro plan here, and yeah, like I said, James just his third league, but in Kanzatak here he challenged for con position of our teamer group, and he made it to week six, and got 17 wins. So, you know, clearly a very very good player. However, 0-4 so far this league. So we have almost a mirror situation that we had with our match earlier today. We had an 0-4 player against a 3-1 player. So, and we saw what happened there. We had Kevin take the victory. So we'll see what comes of it here for James. His last two draws was a Market Watch Phantom and a Meddling Youths, with still no white source. Looks like he's got an aggro plan, which is a very brazen plan in the early weeks, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do whatever the pool gives you, right? If
Yeah,
it works out, we'll have to find out. I mean, as of right now, Jeremy's just going to value up
yeah. This
here.
is just
Get
like
the
to make
block,
us feel bad.
get the lands. Now, to be fair though, Jeremy did draw your favorite card in this game, the mask, the Goblin Mask, mask maker, the one drop that
I was gonna
makes
say I was
your
gonna say he drew a Cloud Blazer.
no. So it's almost like drawing nothing, right?
I
at this
mean,
at this point in the game.
I think that card is unacceptably poor in draft, and even worse in sealed, and even worse in 60 card sealed.
Yeah, I think there's a world where if it came down turn one, maybe some stuff could have happened. I'm assuming that Jeremy's base green red based off the mana he
Okay.
has in hand. But looks like he's going to drop the mask maker and play the Vengeful Creeper and get this tunnel tipster ticking here.
It's weird that
He drew
it's weird that he
a
chose until
poison
turn four
stem
to
though.
mulligan, but it's fine. All right, more mountains off
I
the
mean, you're
top
not wrong.
here.
That took me a second.
It's more mountains here. The person of interest, or as I call interesting person, has hit the battlefield, but isn't really advancing the board here. So it looks like
Well, that move is about to be mirrored potentially. We'll
as
see.
long as Jeremy sort of just plays his stuff out, it's gonna probably be a bit better than James. Like this is the problem with aggro. If you don't start out of the gates, you don't win most of the time unless you find a bomb.
I mean, that's kind of the idea of aggro, right? Like if your opponent is still alive, especially by a healthy margin, it's just progressively harder to win the game. You don't really have those late game tools.
Yeah, like I said, 60 card sealed is so inconsistent that you have to have like just a crux of good two drops. Like you need like a pile, like a very large pile, in order to have an aggro deck. We saw in Cons League, like starting from week four to the end, we saw like the white black base aggro decks like take over, but the first half of the league, not as much, like because you couldn't really get a consistent build just due to the variance of 60 cards. Um, but in the later weeks, yeah. But early days aggro is a bit rough. Like these tutus, normally going wide is good, but generally is equally as wide here. So, all right. So which face down creature was this?
It is the 5/5 Vengeful Creeper. You
Okay.
rarely ever see it, right? That's the one that can blow up enchantments or
Oh, I
artifacts.
see it. I play that, especially
I feel like
especially.
it's filler, right? Like it's like the 22nd, 23rd card.
Well, you say that now, but just wait until you get the satisfaction of blowing up a scene of the crime.
I mean, at that point, it's very good. It's very good.
It's 11 mana Stone Rain or whatever it is. No, 9 mana.
So Jeremy has a Thundering Falls here. I wonder if he's just playing the Surveil land. Um, Interesting. There's two of these
Oh
mass
no.
goblins.
Oh no.
I'm curious if he has like anything blue in the deck though, if he's just using the land to surveil deeper.
Yeah, and, like, he could have something that flips up for hybrid blue, and it sort of helps. Like he could have like a green blue hybrid morph or one of those disguise. Anyway, planes here allows him to cast meddling youths, which is going to be the biggest thing here until the 5/5 flips up. Question is, I mean, I think he does have attacks at least with the two menace and the 4/5 to draw a card. Reckless also okay.
I mean, I like it. I think it's fine.
I think he's deciding if he wants to put the meddling youths into the red zone as well. Because you actually, I don't believe you have to attack with it in order to get the trigger. So
No, it's just Italian, right?
classic
Everyone
aggro
does the same
fashion,
thing.
he says attack all. If he wants to eat my tutu and take a bunch of damage, fine with that. Gets the clue. Gets a look at a new
The
card as
creature,
well.
does it have to hit to blow up the
No, it's,
enchantment
it's just
artifact,
when
or is it
it's just
just
when it
letters
turns
for?
face up for 6.
Okay, so we'll probably just see him eat the clue then.
Could be. All right, so he's going to discard the mountain here. See, if he knew for a fact that was a vengeful creeper, he could have sacked the clue. But as it stands, yeah, he says I have to be aggro here. I'm getting a card out of this. I get to filter a card from my hand with the Reckless Detective. Unfortunately, it was just the planes. And I mean, Jeremy says he's thinking, but I mean, Jeremy has all the info here, right? Like Jeremy, his opponent's tapped out. There's nothing his opponent can do. These attacks are very very open handed here.
I think he's thinking if he wants to. Yeah, well, I guess you can just single block the detective right cleanly, and then if you want to chump block the 2/2 or just take what is this 8 here, go down to 10.
Yeah, chump block takes 6. Otherwise, take no. He's taking 10. He doesn't
Or
block.
I almost forgot about the other 2/2.
Yeah, that was it was a weird 2/2 attack, but I mean, Goblin Maskmaker he's so valuable. Look at that. Refuse to fight with that man. That Goblin
Jeremy,
Maskmaker was not made for blocking.
Jeremy could do 11 on the crackback, but sadly the hand's not supporting this.
No,
It's just 2 force and a pick your poison.
pick your poison. Yeah, that's a week 1 main deck card for sure.
I mean, you gotta swing your 2/2 in here. The question is, do you swing any more, or do you keep most of it back on defense?
I mean, if he didn't block with the Goblin Maskmaker last turn, when's he gonna block with it? I guess when it's
I mean, he
lethal.
might have. Maybe that's what he was thinking about last turn, like looking one or two turns in the future.
I mean, it's very possible that he had a couple draws in his deck that could add 4 damage on here, but it doesn't look like he found that. More planes here, so not very useful. So now's the question of how many creatures do you throw away for a clue? And the answer is he doesn't actually have to attack with the 4/5, so he could just attack with the others. Not sure it's worth a clue here, but he will decide, we'll guess. Yeah, so
I mean, what? Sandbag 2 creatures for 1 clue? I'm not so certain about that.
I mean it's definitely the aggro way here. He's gonna crack before anything else happens, just in case he draws a relevant instant, and it's another planes.
Maybe he has like the chases on or something like that to win one of these combats.
Yeah. So yeah, these are just like this is very good for Jeremy. Jeremy's probably pretty pleased about this. Um, very close to lethal here potentially. Yeah, it's like again, it's a problem with aggro decks. Like maybe you draw a card that can swing it slightly in your favor, but like when your opponent already has been able to play out their board and keep their life total reasonable, it's just hard to get in the last points of damage, and we're seeing that here. And
Yeah, I think the draw was the Gadabout, which I mean
okay,
is really just gonna be on blocking duty. It's not really fulfilling the
no,
design purpose.
I thought the design purpose was for it to have the coolest hat in the set.
I guess for your hat drafts, I guess it fits in pretty
It
well,
is.
right?
It is. By the way, there are lots of hats in this set from all the detectives. This is a hat heavy set, and this is the hat. I think.
I guess the only thing about it though is it's probably not going to make its way into a cube.
It's in the hat cube. It has to be.
Well, I guess okay, a specific cube if you curate it, but I guess you don't get to do like the cool hat cube and see it on Arena.
It can be in the hexproof cube. That'll be everyone's favorite cube.
But outside the mountain Jeremy drew for turn, us talk about this hat for a second, really quickly. Is it in the like the top? Is it breaching the top like 5 or 10 yet, or is it still a little outside looking in?
On Arena, not sure. There's some good ones, but I can't name them all off the top of my head. But there's some really epic ones. Um, yeah. So what else does Jeremy have in hand? Just lands, or
Yeah, forest, mountain, and this pick your poison.
oh,
That
still yes, of course, and more lands
it
here.
might find a purpose.
More lands here from James, but this is going to mean that this 5/5 is free to attack.
I mean, you did draw a person of interest, so we'll see what it's like done here.
Yeah, so we talked a bit about James. Jeremy is one of our league veterans. He came in very early off of, I believe, Reddit, and he's made 7 top 8s. He's won a league. He bowed out a bit early last league, which we were sad to see because he was part of our teamer clan. But 3-1 start here. Exactly, interesting
I
people. That's,
was gonna say, did you get the
that's
message?
what I'm
Was it
saying.
received?
So another meddling youths here. Attack all means 2 clues, but I think the game just ends when Jeremy untaps.
It does, but I'm not sure if Jeremy knows that, right? So let's see how Jeremy lines up the
Yeah, he does have to
blocks.
respect pump spell or something of that type.
I mean, well, I guess it doesn't matter, right? Does James have anything for the 5/5?
Well, he's got a plains and a mountain, and he's got a draw with his clue.
Not sure one man is gonna get it done.
Unlikely.
I mean, I guess you could make a blocker off this, right? With
That's
the
another mountain. So yeah, not what you want from your aggro deck. Just couldn't get on the board fast enough. Like Jeremy didn't play anything insane. He just played out his cards and made sure he didn't die to aggro, and then started attacking when it was good for him. Yeah, James is actually on 26 lands, which is high even for
a
league,
lot from aggro
especially when
game
he tops
plan.
out. His curve tops out at the 3 meddling youths, nothing above that.
So if you were playing aggro, right? How many lands would you play? Like 24, 23?
I think I mean week one, I think I'm on 25 lands for any deck I'm playing, minimum, just because it's so inconsistent. But by week 2 or week 3, if you are really going to be full on aggro, which he is here, I mean he's got the tools. He's got triple shock, double Karlov Watchdog. He has a Lamplight Phoenix and the Buzz Crusher, the 4/4 flying, and 2 10th District heroes. So he's got the goods to potentially back it up. Triple makeshift binding also as premium removal. Like he's got the looks of a good aggro deck, but 26 lands is just it's too many. I think. Um, yeah, week one I don't think I'd almost ever go below 25. But like I said, starting on week 2 or 3, if you are leaning aggro, you can start shaving.
Jeremy hovers over his shock and types not lightning bolt wrath.
Oof.
I almost didn't recognize it was shock because he has the Japanese
Yeah,
alternate art.
I think somebody called him out on that yesterday when he was streaming. He
Yeah,
was
it looks
streaming a match and
really,
somebody
really,
was
really
like, "You
good.
sure it's not lightning bolt? Can we?" I believe it was one of the
I
league.
can see.
It was one of the league committee members, so he had to make sure everything was on the up and up. And then,
I get it, but Jeremy's looking like pretty good on the aggro side. Also, I think there's about like 10 plus two drops down
I mean,
here.
if you're playing
One
Goblin
shot
Maskmaker,
galvanizes.
that is a harbinger of your strategy, right? Like you're not playing Goblin Maskmaker in a deck that is looking to go super long. I don't think. Oof.
This is too funny though. So like, Jeremy's got tap land for red blue, swamp forest, mass maker, but you can't play the mass maker turn one because of the land. And there's a person of interest, the Hellburst, and then the Gadabout. So I
So
mean,
looks like he put Jeremy on the play. Yeah. So he did the classic
bold
he did the
strategy, bud.
classic week one move, which I'm not honestly that against of putting
I
opponent
don't know, man.
on the play.
If you're aggro, I don't think you do that.
I used to put opponents on the play like maybe like a few leagues ago, and people called me out on it. And I still thought it was okay, but I just think the quality of the cards is so high, and the quality of two drops is so high nowadays that it's really hard to justify.
But I think also his game plan is aggressive, right? You definitely don't want to be one turn behind. That's like a huge boost to aggro, just getting that extra like 1 or 2 damage in.
Yeah, like I think I'm on board with just being on the play all the time, even in league. Like as late as I would say, I think mom league. I think I was still putting opponents on the draws on the play sometimes. And week one of cons I was, but then it was pointed out to me that you want to get to 5 mana first, so you can start flipping the morphs back in cons.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's true because that's really a pivotal turn. Anyway, bold move here, but again, 60 card seal decks are super wonky. I understand that having the extra card can go a long way, but we'll see how that works out. We got a 4/2 unblockable though this turn.
Yeah, to back it up is maybe a Loxodon, maybe a person of interest.
Okay,
I would think you go person of interest here, right? Get 2 more, but he's gonna go Loxodon instead.
yeah, we had a mulligan from James. His hand is, I mean, he has two interesting people in his hand. He has a Market Watch Phantom and two more lands. So, I mean, he could go wide, sort of like he did last game, but not much to back it up. This is looking like it could be like a rehash of what we saw last game. Is like he can establish a wide board, and the quality of creatures is fine, but he can't push through.
Yeah, worth noting, Jeremy just drew the Ferox for the turn,
Okay,
but there's no
not
second source of green.
yeah, I was gonna say not castable at this time.
Yeah.
So James might be able to have a break here for a turn. What's his other options?
Still the Rift Burst, the 6/7,
Yeah,
the person of interest. He drew a case of the Crimson Pulse like a turn or two
I
ago,
mean, yeah,
and then
that's familiar.
yeah, the Ferox was this turn's draw. So it's probably gonna be a person of interest, I would think.
I really like that case. Have you played with it at all?
I have it in my league deck,
Okay.
and I haven't drawn it just yet, but we'll see. We'll
Yeah,
see.
so
Is that the
unlike
one where you have no
yeah,
cards in hand?
exactly. So unlike Thrill of Possibility, you don't have to discard a card. If it's your last card, you just draw two.
Oh,
That is where it shines here. So we got we're gonna just have an array of interesting people once again.
the world's most interesting board.
I think James is. Yeah, I was gonna say he's wants to make some kind of attack, but he's deciding just the 2/2 here. He is behind on life and creatures. Yeah, person of interest. It's pretty bad when you're behind. Like you're tapping 4 mana and you are at such a disadvantage. I find.
Huh.
I mean, he lost. He lost two creatures, but opponent lost two creatures. Not sure how. Not sure exactly how I feel about that, but he said it was worth the risk here.
So let's see. Mountain for turn puts him at 5. So he could case the Ferox away, or he could just play the 6/7 as a morph, draw a card for the turn,
He's gonna draw a
which I like.
card here, which makes the blocks a lot worse here for James. Like his only, yeah, I'd be attacking all. Like his only like actual viable, good, reasonable block, I think, is to just put the 2/2 in front of the 4/2, like he's doing. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I mean, I like the fact that he has another Loxodon coming down next turn. So if he has a land, he can pump this one again. But I mean,
okay,
you said James has what, 2 more people that are
he has a
interesting?
person and he has a makeshift binding and two lands, but he can't cast the person and the makeshift binding.
Yeah, I don't know how safe you're gonna feel playing
He
Makeshift
can
Binding.
cast person and then equip to something. But yeah, like I said, aggro is a really tough sell in the early weeks. Later on in the league, it's very viable just because you have more packs, so you have more focus, more you could just fill your deck with like 1, 2, and 3 drops, and really only play premium cards that are above 3 mana. But in early days, you're just playing whatever. So
Yeah, I mean, technically they're both aggro, right? It's just Jeremy's got the backup of the green stats to go behind it. James is just missing the combat tricks to make Boros really shine.
Yeah, the combat tricks. I mean, he does have the cheap removal. Like I said, he has multiple shocks, triple makeshift binding. He has the bombs. It's like he has the skeleton, but it's missing a few bones, you could say.
Which is fair. Uh-oh. So Jeremy's drawing the land he needs for the turn, so he could just swing out here.
Okay.
Um,
I
the
mean,
6/7, if it goes unblocked, will end the game.
opponent's at 6, and he's attacked, and he only has 2 blocks. So, all right. So he's just gonna flip this up and say, solve this problem here, and another land is gonna continue to make it difficult. He does have the makeshift binding here. Stay alive. Go to 6. Attack for
If Jeremy
5.
draws green,
Oh, if Jeremy draws green, it's just over.
yeah, because he has the Ferox and he's
Yeah,
he's looking at it too. He's like, just give me green, and
and
it's a swamp.
I mean, look, I don't need to go on about 3 color mana bases, and
Now hold
what
on, hold
happens
on.
sometimes.
He does have the case of the Crimson Pulse still,
Okay, so you
so
can
he
discard the
can
swamp
still
and
draw.
some other rubbish. Oh no, you just have to
Yep. See if
discard
we can
one.
find.
Okay,
Yeah. See if we can find the green here.
so dump the swamp. I guess he doesn't need double black if it's a splash, and there it
He's
is.
found the green. He's found the
So
line.
we got 2 mountains in hand. So we're gonna give this victory to Jeremy. So congratulations, off to a very good start this league. Good to see him returning to form. And he comes out victorious in our last feature match for week 1. So congratulations, and see everyone next week.